All right, welcome back. It's the Dividend Dudes. We got Tom Bryan and myself, the dude behind the camera. We're just gonna say it flat out here. We do not recommend to most people the Magnificent Seven stocks. Now, this video is coming out at kind of piggybacking on another video we just barely did, where we did our monthly stock purchase and what we decided to buy instead of these, right? And so let's just dive right in to, first of all, we need to define what are the Magnificent Seven. If you've never heard of that before, what are they?
Oh, we got Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. All are the 7 stocks that are just hugely overvalued and
so positive.
And really, if you take their market caps of all 7, just eclipses the GDP of any nation in the world right now.
But now my ego and the Magnificent Seven are not my 7. I only have 7, but not my 7 jokes.
No. His 7
not your 7
jokes.
Deadly jokes, right?
Ouch.
So
the point on these, and we'll get into a bit of why we don't recommend them here, but the point here is these are the 7 companies that have huge market caps. They're very well known. And because of that, they're often overvalued. We're going to get to that here in a moment, but also they're talked about a lot, right?
A lot.
So I think when we get into them, we're going to pick on 2 of them in particular here, Nvidia and Tesla, right? But before we get into the kind of the why we don't recommend them, I think it's fair to talk about why the good, right? The positive on these companies.
The reason
you think
these
that's
are the
fair?
Magnificent Seven, Magnificent, God, I can't wait till I get these braces off. The Magnificent Seven is because they are good companies for the most part. They make good products. They are healthy companies. They do a lot for the people that need their products, and that's why people are buying them. And there's a lot of profit to be made. However, at the time, this might not be the time to actually buy them.
So, Nvidia. I got an Nvidia card on my computer. Tesla. My neighbor's got a Tesla. They're making good products. They have a lot of, the reason why these companies are called the Magnificent Seven is because for the last year, they accounted for 3/4 of the market gain. So 2023, the stocks, they were 3/4 of the gains in the entire market.
Right.
That's a lot. So
that's huge.
That's what happens to a company that is generally a good company that is on the cutting edge of some technology like AI or electric cars. Amazon owns almost everything at this point.
Distribution. They have huge distribution.
You guys are so positive. When can I go? When can I be negative?
But the problem is people see that and it gets hyped up, and a lot of people will buy into that, creating overinflated market caps and create a price to earnings ratio that is outrageously overvalued.
I want to jump on that overinflated number so bad. There's a reason. We're being positive. He's being positive. I can't be positive.
It's not in your vocabulary.
Not yet.
The good is
not
also
yet, right?
a reason not to buy it.
So premise here is that I think if we could distill it into a single line here, they're overvalued. That's why we don't recommend them, right? So let's pick on these 2 companies and talk about what we're seeing that points to that. You cool with that? All right, Tom, you ready? You ready to nerd rage here?
I'm going to piss off everybody on Reddit by just talking for 5 seconds here. So I'm going to cover something about, like, you guys talked about these are good companies. I agree with that. However,
they make money. They're profitable.
That's the very point, though. Like, somebody would say, Tom, these guys they're doing great things. Tesla tripled and their net revenue went way up. Yeah, some of that had to do with people buying the stock. So if you're going to buy a stock, so we're investors, right? We got, a little shirt. We got the shirt. But, we're looking at these companies over the course of a long period of time. We're looking at this in years, not weeks, not months, not day trading for all the people talking about these stocks. But this is something that you want to buy for a long period of time if you're going to be an investor. With Nvidia right now, you look at a couple basic numbers, and I would picture this as trying to balance your checkbook. You have expenses, you've got revenue coming in, and when we look at a company to buy long term, we're not just looking at macroeconomics, we're not looking at what they're doing with AI alone, we're looking at that, but we're looking more at the business fundamentals, the value part of what the company actually does and how much money they actually make.
All right, so we're looking at Nvidia. The operating revenue you were saying is 26 billion. Is that right?
26
As
billion
of
roughly,
recording
yeah.
this.
Yeah, almost 27, but yeah.
All right, almost 27 as of recording this, right? But their market cap, what their value at in the market is what?
$2 trillion.
Yeah, $2 trillion. So that's a big difference.
Huge gap.
So if you're buying a company, you want to know what the size and the operations, what the company's actually making today. And what they're making today is $27 billion, of which they only keep $4.37 billion.
Again, net profit, they're making profit, they're not losing money, it's good.
That's
they
good.
have an AI product that's coming out that could make them even more. But $2 trillion worth? That's...
So this gets me into the nerd ragey thing, and I don't want you guys to mistake me the wrong way. When the numbers come off the highs they're on now and the financials and the fundamentals look better, I'll get positive. Right now, I ain't positive.
Again, not a bad company, but let's look at a couple of other things, like their price to earnings ratio. 89.09, 89 times their earnings.
That's like going to the store and you want to buy a gallon of milk. Instead of it being $3, it's $35.
Yeah,
I ain't buying that milk. That's
because
a lot.
that milk, the market is saying that milk is valued at, what'd you say, $39.
Yep. And people think that it's going to go higher. You can look at the future, what they believe the earnings, the PE ratio is going to be, the forward PE. They think it's going to go higher. The problem is, if you look at what Nvidia did a few years ago, they were like at what, $180 a share, $160 a share?
Yeah, before that they're down to 130.
You're late to the party, guys. It's $800 a share now.
800. Now, if you buy it now, you're anticipating that it's going to go even higher. 900. If you want to double your money, it has to go to $1,600 a share.
And I think that is the big thing. That's the big thing happening right now, because for you to feel like you're going to grow with it, where it's at right now compared to where it was, even just recently you're talking about, if you think you're going to grow with it, it has to go up.
Right.
It's
a growth stock.
It has to eclipse the GDP of most countries.
So just look at the short sellers on Nvidia.
Oh my God, so we have this channel, Dividend Dudes, and there's a couple reasons why it exists. One of those reasons is there's these day traders and people who pump and dump stocks, and Nvidia is very pumped and very dumped. Like, it is, if you have to buy a stock, somebody's got to sell it to you. If you're selling a stock, somebody's got to buy it. So what happens is these day traders come in, they go and they post a video, or they go onto Reddit and they say, Tesla's gonna pump, and while it's going up, they're selling their shares. So if you're a retail investor, you're gonna lose your shirt. Look what happened when the crypto market crashed about a year and a half ago. You have $1.3 trillion of money, retail investor money, that's just gone. Few people made money, but a lot of people did not. And with Nvidia, this is why it's so important to look at the fundamentals. You have to know the actual size of the business outside of the market cap, outside of their balance sheet, because of how much, just ridiculous amounts of money is getting pumped into this. Because at the end of the day, we've made money in the stock market. You're not going to make money on day trading. For most people, 99% of the people don't make money in the market. You can look at the IRS numbers for that.
Right. You have to be active. If you're going to day trade, you're going to do options, you're going to try and look at the market each day. You have to actively do it every day, from the opening bell to the closing bell, to do this properly. Not only that, with that kind of dedication, you have to have the mental capacity to be able to read the lines and all
back D's and all that, Bollinger Bands. Yeah, that's, for most people, it's a fool's errand.
It is.
For most people.
So when you really look at the PE ratio, anything over 20 is overvalued, and Nvidia is at 89, Tesla is at 45. So both of these are overvalued. Look at the other stocks in the Magnificent Seven, you're going to see they're overvalued as well. and you look at Tesla's market cap versus its net profit, 15 billion versus 628 billion, it's in the same boat as Nvidia. Maybe a little bit less at this point, but
Yeah, I want to caveat that because we did cover Tesla in the past video, and their numbers were abysmally bad like Nvidia. They were close to like $300 a share. They're still bad, but they look better.
yeah, Tesla, since they've gone down a bit, they do look a lot better. Still
Balanced
not a buy,
out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but these are the reasons why we buy things like REO recently, because it's not as overinflated. We like a depressed stock that with a good company and a healthy company.
Yeah, and Rio, not the like city, but RIO, they are a metals company, so they provide lithium and heavy precious metals that to all of the automotive manufacturers. So if you want to learn how to, like an investor thinks, you don't buy the one automotive company that could be limited to maybe they have a bad product launch, maybe something happens with like a recall, or maybe a battery catches fire and can't go out and kills, whatever. I like Tesla's product, but I need to see the fundamentals look better. And because we're not seeing that, we bought RIO, which supplies to all of the automotive manufacturers, not just one,
Right.
all of them. So the chances of RIO having a problem are way less than an individual product having a problem.
All right. So there you have in a nutshell, that is the reasoning why we don't recommend those at this point. And if you
Not
want to
yet.
know what we, not currently, right?
Yeah,
Not
not yet.
currently. Not yet. So if you want to know what we are looking at and what we are actually buying, you can see the companion video to this one where we dove into the stock pick for this month. And so go watch that next because you're going to see more of the reasoning of what we are purchasing right now. And also, if you want additional just insights into what we're working on, what we're doing right now, you can go ahead and subscribe. We'd love it if you did. And so go watch that video and we'll see you there.